Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you might be joining from. I am HR Funk, and welcome to HR's Firing Line. We have got an exciting show in store today. I have got Mike Bechtel from SSP Eyewear, who's going to be here to answer your questions about his specific vision correcting shooting glasses, as well as the other safety eyewear that they have. And I'm going to get to him in just a couple of minutes, but I do have a couple of programming announcements. Beginning with, I have got a ton of stuff that's going to be coming up on the channel in the last few weeks of 2023 here, to the point that, and I mentioned this in the live stream from Hot Munitions the other day, to the point that I'm stressing a little bit, hoping that I'm going to be able to get all of this done in time to have meet all my obligations as far as when things have to be out, what has to be out, and all that. And part of that, and the reason I'm mentioning all of this, is because there may be some videos coming out in the next few weeks that are not part of the regular production schedule. So keep an eye out for that. If you see something that comes out on, say, a Tuesday morning or a Saturday afternoon or something like that, that's outside of the usual, Saturday 8 a.m., Wednesday 8 a.m., if you're on the East Coast anyway. Those are the times. So if you see something coming out other than that, it's just part of all of this stuff that I'm trying to get in here at the end of the year. Also, quick thanks to all of you who either stopped by House of Pain Armament the other day. If any of you are on here, thank you very much. I enjoyed meeting everyone. That was a fantastic time that we had there. And for all of you who watched that live stream and commented and chimed in and all that, thank you also for that. I appreciate it. And by the way, that is Chewy walking around behind me there. And I'm not sure, he must be hiding. He's camera shy today. So hopefully he's not over there actually chewing on anything he's not supposed to be. I do have some exciting things coming up here in the next few weeks. I've got some items I'm going to be reviewing that I have been working to get basically all of 2023, and I finally succeeded in getting some of these things. And I think you're really going to enjoy some of these year-end videos that are coming out. So stay tuned for all of that. I'm going to be doing the year-end, my favorite firearm of 2023. That's going to be coming up. I've got another year-end video that I'm looking at producing here in the near future. So all that's coming. I hope you enjoy all of it. And again, I'm going to have to cram this all in pretty quickly because, with next week being Thanksgiving, can you believe it's going to be Thanksgiving already? We've got that coming up, which is going to also impede some of my ability to get some videos made because I got Thanksgiving festivities coming. But that's coming up as well. And again, I'm going to be working like crazy just to try to get everything done here. And hopefully all of you enjoy everything that's coming. And I've been ignoring the comments going down the screen here. So I want to say hi to everyone. Grumpy Tactical Viking is here. Nick, Mo is here. And Henry Schmidt, Hot 8, Keith Gregory, Dewan. Joe Morgan is here. So welcome to all of you. Scott from South Carolina, thanks for joining. And with all of this preliminary stuff out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mike up on screen. Again, Mike is the president and CEO of SSP Eyewear. And I'm going to bring him on and we'll start the conversation. And there he is right there. And your microphone is turned on. There you go. And thank you for joining, Mike. I appreciate you joining me here on the show today and agreeing to be a guest. I think I can probably get into a little bit of the history that we have. Back a few years ago, I started noticing, for some odd reason, my vision was not quite the same as it had been years early. When I was, let's say, when I was less experienced than I am now, my vision was a little sharper than it is at this stage. And I started to look around for some things that might be able to help me with that. And on Optics Planet, one of my sponsors, I came across some vision correcting shooting glasses that were manufactured by SSP. And I thought, that might be something worth trying out. And I got the shooting glasses and I tried them and they worked pretty well. I produced a review video on those shooting glasses. This has probably been maybe, I don't know if it's been quite 2 years ago, year and a half, something like that ago. And I've been using those glasses from that time. And it turns out that Mike was perusing YouTube one day and came across that review video. So he got a hold of me. And since that time, we've talked several times back and forth, and got to the point where I was able to get some history of your company and kind of a sense for how you got into this business, where you've been going as far as the products you're developing. And I think it's a very interesting story. So I'm just going to stop babbling here and turn it over to you. And if you could give everyone a sense for how you got into this business and a little bit of the history of SSP.
Sure, absolutely. And thanks. First time I've been on one of these, so I'll be going by Howard's lead, but it'll be a lot of fun. So, I have no idea why I got in the safety glass business. I was in the motorcycle industry for a long time. We started making a lot of glasses for the motorcycle industry. And fast forward, we've had some large companies that make airplanes up here that we supply safety glasses for. And then 2008, my grandfather, who I was really close to, passed away, and he grew up 80 years of his life with only one eye. To this day, nobody really knows how he lost it. The kids were playing around, threw a rock, a slingshot or something, and he lost an eye. So when he passed away, I decided, you know what, in honor of him, I'm going to create a safety glass company. So, and kind of fast forward to where we're at. I was at a safety show. We were first starting to do a lot of training with non-lethal force with the CERT pistols. And the sergeant of the Criminal Justice Training Commission came to me and said, man, I really wish somebody would make a bifocal safety glass. And I said, well, I got a warehouse for them. We just started and we need to sell them. And he goes, no, I need them on top. He says, my instructors are really struggling and getting in a bad stance. And so we made that glass for them. And that was the glass that you tried on. And I think to date, we've sold probably over 1 million pairs of those. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the numbers, but we sold a lot of them. So.
And just so everybody knows, these are the glasses we're talking about. And the vision correcting lens over my shooting eye is at the top up here. And I actually have a vision correcting bifocal on the other side. So when I'm wearing these, if I'm shooting, my shooting eye is able to focus on the sights of the handgun or long gun that I'm using. And it's nice, especially for me, because if I'm working with cameras or I'm looking down to read something or whatever, then my non-shooting eye has that vision correcting bifocal, and I can look down and read whatever I'm reading. And when I'm looking at the target, then I'm looking above that bifocal so I can see the target, I can see my sights, and the glasses work very, very well. And these are also impact resistant. And talk a little bit about that, Mike, about the impact resistance and also the decentralized lens, because that was something else that I found interesting.
Absolutely. So that glass is our top focal ultra kit, and it comes with 12 lenses, clear yellow and smoked gray lenses, all with a permanent anti-fog. They have a vented frame, and so it's the best anti-fog you can have. You asked me two questions there, and I just
the impact resistance was the other thing that I was talking about.
So they exceed the ANSI standards, the American National Standards Institute, for a safety glass. So you can use it at work or on the gun range. It is what you need to wear on a gun range. When we started in the safety world making glasses, our shop glasses were very flat, much like the glasses you're wearing right now. And you don't have any side protection. Debris could get behind the glasses into your eyes, a piece of steel or a fragment or a shell casing. And so we started wrapping glasses around, and as you take a piece of polycarbonate and bend it, it would cause distortion. And I always say, if you've ever been a kid and you tried to, poke something in a creek or a river with a stick and it looked like the stick was bending, well, that's what happens. And Howard, you actually did a really good video, and I've since played with it, where we shine a laser through that lens, and no matter where you shine that laser, it's going to stay in the exact same spot on the side of your eye. So that's called a decenter lens, and all of our products have that. It's especially critical. A lot of our customers are run and gun. They're moving while they're shooting, and we don't want to have any distortion. So we spent a lot of time developing these glasses to make it, the best that we can. And we're always making new stuff with feedback from our customers. So.
And I'm going to jump down to a question that I just saw come up on the feed here. And this is from Tony York. And he says, I have a center sight astigmatism. When my glasses correct the issue, I lose the ability to see clearly for about the first 5 or 6 feet. Is there any advice or anything you might be able to do for Tony to help him out?
Center sight astigmatism. So my assumption is you have correction for distance, but the reading portion is blurry. Would that be correct? Are they able to respond on here?
He can. It might take a second or two till I get a response up.
And that was Tony that did that?
This is Tony York, yeah.
Yeah. So what we have is, do you have that other glass, the Bechtel?
It's actually out in my Jeep because I was just using it yesterday. I couldn't bring it back in the house.
So we do make another product, the Bechtel kit, and Howard has done a review on that. In that, we put a prescription insert. And so what we would do is we would correct your non-dominant eye for distance, the bottom portion of it for distance, and then a hard line top bifocal for your up close. It says the first 5 to 6 feet. So generally, 3 to 4 feet and closer is where we struggle. And so, yes, we do have a correction for that. Our lab typically takes less than a week to make those, and they're $180 to do that prescription insert. So it's a 2-part process. You would use, this frame, and then the insert snaps onto the nose piece. But yes, we can correct that. I might mention too, I don't have an astigmatism myself, but I have had numerous customers call me that have astigmatisms and really struggle with red or green dot. And in that Bechtel kit, and now in our plain lens, I don't have it in the top bifocals, our light purple and our light pink lens tends to crisp that red dot up. So you might check that out. I'd love to get some additional feedback other than half a police department call me up going, oh my gosh, I could actually see my green dot again. But if you have a starburst with that, I would recommend looking at some of these different high definition lenses. It will crisp that up.
And I know you mentioned that early on you were working with law enforcement firearms instructors, and I know what my own experience has been like, but I'm curious what kind of feedback you got from them. I suspect it was very positive once all of a sudden they could see their sights again and be able to do all the things they were doing.
100%. So when we started, our basic kit, the top focal assorted, just has top bifocals, and it works great if you're 10 yards and less. When we started working with the SWAT team, and then with testing with the National Tactical Officers Association, which this is an approved item, but especially with the SWAT team, they shoot further out. Looking through those magnifiers at the target, when you magnify something up close, it makes the target more blurry, if that's the right word. And so having it set up the way you have it with no correction on the non-dominant eye allows you to still see that target and kind of work like it did when we were young. I mean, as you know, being in the camera field, you can only focus on one thing perfectly clear. And the camera is the same way. I had a running ad for, I think, 4 years of somebody that, we have lots of characters in our industry that were making fun of the pictures. And I said, I'll send you a $150 kit if you can photograph what we're trying to explain, because a camera is just like your eyes. It can either focus on the sights or it can focus on the target. But if one is focused, the other one will be blurry.
Sometimes my cameras can't focus on anything. Everything's blurry.
Well, sometimes if you see me shoot, it's just
and sometimes my eyes are the same way, especially when I first wake up in the morning.
Yeah. So the beauty with us being a little smaller company is, man, we really love our feedback from our customers. Our customers tell us what they need, and we make that. And we are very blessed that we are a corporate partner with the NRA, with the United States Concealed Carry, with the Appleseed training. We just put together another program with Legal Heat and Protect His House for church security. So evidently there's some pretty cool people that kind of like us.
Which brings me to the next thing I was going to ask you about. And we were talking about this before the show actually started. You actually have some Olympic shooters that are using your glasses. And what kind of feedback have you gotten from them? Because we're talking about really, really highly skilled shooters.
Sure. I guess I should rephrase that. The instructors, I typically, most of my products are for the well-aged
experience. The
experience people. Yeah, I was trying to think of my buddy. He has a great saying on it. I can't remember what it is, but and on with this one individual, he teaches the one-handed precision shooting, which is 8 shots rimfire, and it's very technical shooting. You actually, if you're not familiar with it, and according to a lot of comments I see, a lot of people aren't. It is an Olympic sport. It is in the NRA rule book. You can only shoot one-handed. But what's really different, rather than shooting a piece of steel, is these guys are such excellent marksmen that they measure the size of one hole where all 8 shots have gone. And whoever has the largest hole loses. So the goal is to literally, poke it in the exact same hole. And that's where, being able to see your sights clearly is absolutely critical. And even when we started working with a youth team, matter of fact, the only youth team to beat the United States Army marksman team, the eye fatigue on open sights, and this is on rifle, it causes them to not be able to see their sights. And so we've actually created for one young lady correction for when you're shooting 8 hours nonstop at the highest level. We can even do that. Interesting. As much as I said that this is for our a little bit older individuals, we're starting to get more and more feedback with cross-dominant shooters and young cross-dominant shooters that if we only correct the one eye, it allows them to shoot with both eyes open. And I think you covered that in your video. But again, if you can kind of think of, you've got, say, your left eye dominant and you're right-handed. If your left eye is, or your right eye is a little bit stronger, or your left eye is a little bit stronger, you start seeing two sets of sights or 2 targets. If we only correct one of those and not put any correction on the other eye, and we've had a good number of early 30s people that don't wear reading glasses or don't wear any prescription that are all of a sudden able to shoot both eyes open. And that is, I think, a good safe trend to shoot with both eyes open. It's not how a lot of us were brought up. Fortunately, I'm a 2-eye shooter, but not everybody is. But I get a lot of hugs when I'm at shows or events when people are like, oh my gosh, I've never been able to shoot with both eyes open. And we literally gave them the tools to do it right there. So.
And that's interesting. I know when I first was trained to shoot, and this is clear back during the 1980s when I was in the Marine Corps, I'm sure I was shooting with just my dominant eye open and my other eye closed. And somewhere along the way, somebody started saying you should shoot with both eyes open. Of course, I thought they were crazy. I thought, who does that? The Cowboys don't do that. Nobody does that. Right. And for whatever reason, I started doing it. And of course, that does work much better. So, I mean, giving people the ability to do that via the glasses is only going to improve them overall as shooters. At this point, the only time I close an eye is if I'm trying to make a very, very precise shot, and it's basically just to close off distractions that I might have with the other eye.
Yeah, and I think even looking through a rifle scope, a lot of times it's even easier to shoot with one eye closed. But with the personal defense and run and gun type of shooting, or in the trap shooting world, sporting clays, there's a huge advantage to be able to shoot with both eyes open. And we actually have a product. It's the only item that I don't personally make. I import. I'm the importer in the United States that I don't think you and I talked about, but it's our red eye dominant correction. And I actually set one up. It comes in just a case. I don't know if I see that here. Is it all right if I show that?
That's fine.
That's one of the questions we get a lot as I'm a cross dominant shooter. If you don't need the top bifocals, and that works for like 99% of the people. So it works really, really well. I always tell people, if you can get this thing in between your two ears out of the way and don't worry about what you've done forever, it works. But this is a unique product, and it comes with, did I show this to you?
No, this is the first time I've seen it.
Okay, so it's a translucent magnet with little red dots on it, and it applies as simply as, I don't know if I can do this on camera, but I've got one magnet sitting in the palm of my hand. It's a clear magnet. And then I just lay the glass over it, and I just drop the other magnet on it. And then you can move this. So when you press out, you're obscuring, this dominant eye. If I was left, am I doing that right? If I was left eye dominant, it's putting a hard focus with my right eye. So that is a very unique product. We had some trouble getting them in the spring. The Royal Mail over in the UK got hacked, and stuff was getting sent over to Russia. But we have plenty of them in stock now, and it is an amazing product. And for your shotgun shooters, especially, it really allows you to shoot with both eyes open immediately.
So if I understand the way it works correctly, it's basically just blocking the vision of your non-shooting eye.
That is correct. You can use a piece of Scotch tape. Some people take chapstick. This is a little bit less messy, but very tunable to an individual. So I don't know if you can see how that is on here, but is that showing up?
Yeah.
Maybe I can do it from the inside, and I can just move this around. So if you're into a shotgun, it may be slightly different. You'll probably be up here for a pistol, maybe down here for a shotgun. As you get used to that, this comes with 1, 2, 3 other sizes, and you can reduce it down to almost nothing at all. But okay. It puts a hard focus on your sights or on the target, depending on what discipline you're shooting.
Okay, I have seen field expedient ways to do that, with sticking things down inside of shooting glass lenses or whatever, or blacking out one side or what have you. But I've not seen a product like that you can apply directly to the glasses and then modify it over time.
I don't know if you can see that, but it's translucent. I mean, you can still see through it, and this is from the inside. I'm kind of backwards here.
Okay.
But we had enough requests. We brought it to market. So we didn't bring it. I brought that into the United States. But
all right, cool. And that comes from the UK, you said?
Yeah, I mean, we stock them here in the United States where they're importer.
All right.
But it's one item I don't make. It's called the red eye dominant correction system, and it comes with a microfiber cloth and directions on how to use it. It's very, very, very simple. And as a youth coach, a lot of times we've got different individuals. I can very quickly, set a shotgun on my shoulder, unload it, obviously, and line that up, or a pistol stand in front of them with an inert pistol, and fit them right away very, very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting. I know something else that we talked about before the show started, and we've actually talked about it a couple of times, are the influences that the different colors have with people who are shooting, especially with shotguns. And I know I was very ignorant. I'm not really I don't shoot trap. I don't shoot skeet or anything like that. Sure. So I didn't realize how much the color of the lenses have a bearing on how somebody is shooting in that type of environment. And if you can talk about that a little bit, I have a feeling I'm not the only one who didn't know about that.
100%. So again, you ask 100 people, there's going to be 100 different opinions, but we have actually timed shooters. Your reaction time is faster with the correct lens, and it's going to depend somewhat on eye colors, background colors, and target colors. So our goal is to minimize the background and make the target pop, whether it's white, orange, red, whatever color. And everybody's eyes are different, which is why we have 12 different lens colors for this. Typically, and I'm going to get blasted on this, but from what I've seen, if you have fairer eyes, blue or green, you tend to like a little bit darker lens. If you have brown eyes, you tend to like a lighter lens, which just makes, kind of hillbilly sense to me. People that have fairer eyes tend to wear glasses more. Right before the world went kind of bonkers with COVID, we were actually having some amazing people test this in the pistol and rifle world. I was down at Micklick's Ranch down in Louisiana, and we were using some of these purple lenses and pink lenses because it was very green. It was right during the hurricane, and again, you're minimizing that green and making that target pop. So in the shotgun world, you're shooting a moving target that is moving quite rapidly in the direction that you're not always thinking it's going to go. So if you can make that, the size of a pie plate, which is what it does, it just gives you a competitive edge. And again, what I've noticed is, and just observation, I'd probably say 75% of our shotgun shooters are also own pistols and shoot pistols. Not so much on pistol people that shoot shotguns. So there is a little bit of a disconnect between audiences of like, you're kind of crazy over here to go out with clear, or you are crazy, and over here clear is kind of the standard. So our two taglines is staying focused and engineered to outperform nature. And I think I sent you the copper lens, which you've come to really enjoy. Yes. And we made that lens for our pilots. They need that particular lens because they're staring at a blue sky, and that blue light in the blue sky spectrum is what causes cataracts. And as a pilot, your eyes are critical. So it's a really fun journey. We've got different components. We've got the components of filtering colors out, but also in the eye training. And I hope, maybe someday we'll be able to do something like that. I have some extremely competent people that I would like to do it with, but our athletes today are doing things that nobody's ever done before, I think, in the history of mankind. And, from baseball, where we actually write the numbers on a ball, and a young person has to be able to call out the number before they swing or before they catch it, because they got to slow that ball down and see the stitches and see that number. Kind of like on a motocrosser, when you go over the bars, everything slows down, I was watching a deal the other day on Formula One, and they're, doing a tremendous amount of eye training. And I encourage people to really practice eye training for any discipline in shooting. It's critical. So we can allow you to see a little bit better, or a lot better. We can allow you to see the target better, your sights better. But as the saying is, practice, 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 exercise those eyes.
I know, going back a step or two, just to the colors, one of the things that I've been trying to come up with a way to test or to quantify is whether or not the different colors make a difference when using, say, a pistol optic or something like that, the red dot or green dot or whatever. Can I get on target and acquire my target quicker and get my accurate shots on target faster with one color or another? And I have not come up with a really good way to try to do that yet. If I ever do, you'll probably see that in a video, because it's one of the things that I'm curious about, just whether or not that can enhance the ability to shoot a handgun using those optics.
I would love to get some good data on it. Like we mentioned, I think it was Tony earlier, when the Fort Worth Police Department, I believe they switched when they didn't know we had our glasses that allow you to see your sights. A lot of departments started going to red dots, and red dot doesn't always work in real bright sunlight. So green dot has kind of become the standard. But I had probably 5 individuals within a week call me up and say, hey, I have an astigmatism, and that's where your eyes not perfectly round, and my optics were not crisp, and I can't test it myself because I don't have that, and we don't have a machine that can simulate what the eye is doing. But when I have 4 or 5 department guys call me up on their own free time going, oh my goodness, this is the best thing ever, it's worth passing on. And we've since recommended that to quite a few people, and the same results. So the other thing, kind of along the line with the different lens colors, and this has happened numerous times with me, where somebody will come up and they are colorblind. And again, everybody's eyes are different, but typically one of these lenses in that Medhow, and we now have in the Chelan, the dark purple or the lighter pinks, dark pinks, will allow you to differentiate colors. So again, it's not something I can test, but when an 80-year-old person comes in with tears coming down his face because he saw the trees changing for the first time, there's no amount of money that will replace that. So I definitely encourage people to try some of these different high definition lenses.
You beat me to it, because I wanted to be sure to mention that you talked about the person that had never seen the colors of the leaves change before, that was able to wear the glasses and for the first time see it. Do you happen to remember what color that was that the
I
gentleman
think
was
that
wearing?
gentleman was purple. Again, we were down in Louisiana. He had just gotten out of the Air Force, and he literally came up. He goes, we were doing a ladies 3-gun championship, and he goes, I see all these girls wearing this purple, and he tried it on, and I turned around, and he's literally got tears coming down his eyes. I'm like, I've known you for, what is going on? He goes, Mike, I have never, ever seen the leaves change. Like, I've heard about it, but I don't know what it was. So
Wow.
Since that's happened numerous times, you have to have an individual be out in natural light, and it is perfect. It is fall right now, so it's a good time to see that. So we're not curing, we're not performing miracles, or maybe we are. I don't know. Again, it's not something I can test, but it is great feedback from our customer base. So.
I've got a couple more questions down here I'm going to flash up on the screen. The first one is from ERJG 1954. And he's saying, how do polarized lens allow me to see a fish in shallow water on a sunny day? And then he said, do you recommend polarized for everyday wear? I don't, are any of your glasses polarized? I don't think they are they?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Oh.
I just shipped out 700 of them yesterday. So we did just bring in, we have had some fishing glasses that are polarized. I did just bring in, for the first time in a while, some polarized safety rated glasses, which is much more expensive, with anti-fog for the United States Border Patrol. So to answer your question, polarized lenses have their use. They are amazing on water. They cut glare. If you actually take 2 lenses from a polarized and put them crosshatched against each other, you can't see through them, and they block the reflection of that light. And it's been a long time since I've really delved into the science of polarized. I don't want to be misleading in any ways, but if you're on a boat or you're fishing, it will cut the glare coming off the water and allow you to see in the water. Also, skiing, it has its applications. Do I recommend it for everyday wear? Absolutely, as long as you don't own a cell phone. So, polarized has amazing benefits. One of the few companies that actually makes a polarized safety glass. It's in our Chelan kit. We just got them in this week. I offer them in gray and a copper lens, the same copper that you have, but in polarized. The shortfalls, especially in the law enforcement community, is they put a UV block in the windows of your car so that your upholstery doesn't fall apart. Like even my glasses are clear. It has a UV block in there, 100%. No harmful light rays will come into your eyes, even with our clear lenses. The problem with that, when you put polarized on in a hostile situation, you walk up to a car, you're going to have these black blotches, and if anybody's worn polarized will know what I'm talking about. So it's not necessarily the best for that application if you're in a hostile situation. The other problem is it cuts glare, and anything that's LCD, and I believe a lot of LEDs, you can't see it. So I was on my boat and I can't read my fish finder with my polarized on. It disappears. So it's great when I'm fishing, but when I'm up there trying to get the people on the fish, it's a little bit more difficult. So 100% has some great applications. Generally with electronic devices, it makes it difficult to see your GPS and your cell phone. Matter of fact, the first one we came in, I live in the desert, so our gas pumps tend to fade in the sun. And I couldn't see if the thing was even running. I could hear it. And it didn't dawn on me. I took my glasses off and I could see the LCD. So it will a lot of times allow you not to be able to see anything electronic. So
it's funny because as you explain that answers a question that I had from way back early in my law enforcement career. I was a very young police officer, hadn't been working too long, out in the summertime, bright sun, and I decided I needed to get some sunglasses. And I'm looking around and, I want something that's going to be, functional and durable and everything else. And there was a police supply business that had the gargoyle glasses like Arnold Schwarzenegger wore in the Terminator.
right.
And I was like, yeah, those are cool. I got to get those. So I ordered these things. They were the most expensive glasses I ever bought to that point. And I got these things and they showed up. And of course, they weighed about 3 pounds. And I would put them on and I would notice when I was inside the car, and it's got to be because of what you were talking about with the glass in the car and everything, there would be like black spots or whatever, like I off to the side of a corner of my eye, like I wasn't quite able to see outside of the windshield or out the side window of the car or whatever. And of course, one day I put those things down when I was on a call someplace and forgot them. And when I went back to the place, they were gone. And that was the end of my gargoyle. So, but that I now know why those things did not, or why I couldn't see the way I thought I should be able to see when I was inside the cruiser.
Yeah, like I said, they have a wonderful application for the right applications. We're going to be testing them out and shooting some sporting clays. Again, polarized works in different applications extremely well. I will note that in order for it to be a safety lens, it is much more expensive. So if you choose to go polarized, whether my brand or I don't even have them up on my website, you'd have to call us, but you need. There are a few companies out there that stamp Z87 as a sports stamp, and it is not a range wear. So for shooting a pistol, it is not. And the easy way to tell it is the lens is very, very thin, the polarized lens, and we actually put the polarized over a shatterproof polycarbonate. So if you use polarized for shooting, make sure it is a safety glass. We'd love to earn your business, but I'm more concerned about protecting your eyes. Make sure you invest in your eyes. You only have 2 of them. It's not like a crab or a lizard where the tail grows back. You don't get a second chance on that. So.
And I know it's something I neglected to do at the beginning. I wanted to put your website up here so if people want more information or they have other questions, they'll be able to contact you after the show. And let me get this ready to go. It's www.SSP Eyewear, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me get that on here.
And I'll be closed tomorrow. We're hosting a family pheasant hunt out here this weekend. I've got to get ready for, but yeah, we've got a live chat thing that you can get a hold of us at 2 a.m, but you probably won't get an answer. But if you're on there and it's urgent and we're not able to pick up, please leave a phone number. We don't abuse that, but we can call you back. And a lot of times we can just give you a little more personalized service. Our entire staff has got an old guy for a boss, and there's nothing more frustrating than walking into a retailer or an online place and nobody answers the phone. So we really, really do try to give you good personal service that way. We are a smaller company, so sometimes we have to call you back if everybody's calling at the same time, but we will give you the gold glove treatment. Is that the right word?
I know every time I've called there, I've had a very charming young lady answer the phone, and she's been very cordial and either gotten me to you or answered my questions. So that's always been nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have good people working for us. So.
And again, that website is now going across the bottom of the screen there, folks. So if you'd want more information about SSP Eyewear, you can contact them at www.sspeyewear.com.
And we're one of the few websites that actually have a phone number on there, so you can call us. Like it, we can generally, you know, if you don't have any questions, something I will mention on the top bifocals, the number one reason it doesn't work is the incorrect power. So if you can take 5 minutes, stop at a drugstore, try on a couple different pair of reading glasses. The problem with reading correction is you've got your friends, your wife's, nobody knows what reading glass spec they use. And we're so in tune with this. I believe we're the only company that we actually offer a 1, a 1.25, a 150, a 175. We do very minute details because the firearms community, we're after perfection. So, and the reason I mention that, if you know you're 2.0 for reading, and that's 12 inches away, and I'm a little over 6'4", I've got long arms, that reading correction, I would need less. So as a rule of thumb, if your 150 is good for reading, we probably put you in a 1.25 or a 1. But take 2 seconds, or safely at home, you can use a firearm or a pencil out. I don't recommend taking a firearm into your local drugstore, but we do have a couple videos. Take a pencil out, and you just want to make sure that thing is crystal clear, because too powerful will make it blurry, not powerful enough will make it blurry. And that's about the only time we have somebody return something is because they didn't follow directions. so just take a couple seconds. It'll save us some shipping, save you some shipping. And I have an unconditional, you got to absolutely love it, warranty on all of our products. Our frames, we warranty for life. The shields, we don't, because if they did their job, you still have 2 eyes. But we have replacement parts for pretty much every product that we own, or that we offer. So, and death taxes and reading glasses, there is a chance that your eyes will deteriorate in the future. So it's good to, it's just like taking care of your car, your motorcycle, your firearm. Take care of your eyes. Make sure you've got good, clear vision. I don't know how it is out there. You're in Ohio, right?
In Ohio, yes.
Yeah. But ammo isn't cheap out here. So why waste expensive ammo when you can't see properly? Just change the lenses out and make them pretty reasonable. So.
You mentioned something that I'm glad you said this, because I think it's a great story. You had a fairly unique way of testing the unbreakable lenses, or not lenses, but the unbreakable frames for your glasses. If you want to share that with everybody.
Yeah, should have brought it. I've got a pair. So that's how the lenses come out. I just pop them out real quick, but you can actually, you can see that or not, but yeah, kind of unfold it here, and they actually come back to life. This is a nylon material that we use, and you can see me snapping that lens back. So you saw me crunch that, and they come back to a perfect shape. I'm not left eye dominant, so that really drives me by. A couple fingerprints on there, but and I should mention this as well. Since you and I talked, I now have a new frame for the top bifocals, and I mention this because we have lots of different nose shapes, and that is critical in making that top bifocal work properly. If you're a model and balancing something on your head, you keep your head straight. A slight tilt to your head down when you press out will allow you to see your sights. We don't want to have that magnifier in your line of sight all the time. Don't wear them like your typical reading glasses. You want to have them up so your eyes are protected. And on the top bifocal, we just got them in. I just had a whole new mold made, but I put this here for a reason. Use it. Squeeze a nose bridge, make it fit your eyes. So on a shotgun, I don't want to see any frame at all. Or when I'm, different disciplines, you don't want to see that frame. But on the top bifocal, if you have a very small nose bridge, this is going to slide down, and you're going to be looking through that magnifier all the time. Just squeeze that nose bridge or call us up. I think they're $30 for a different new frame on those. That will raise that up out of your line of sight. Now, if you are a boxer and you've had your nose broke a few times, that may sit up way too high, and typically you can open that up and have it ride lower. Unfortunately, a lot of boxer type of individuals that have had their nose broke a couple times have a very, very wide nose bridge and not a lot of neck, and so it's uncomfortable for them to get down. I had one gentleman, we were doing some work with the FBI. They literally sat on his head like this. I mean, they were the bottom was up on his eyebrows, and I said, he said, but all my buddies use them. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you can't do that. But
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I know when you sent some of these to me, I had a early release, I guess, with the adjustable nose piece, and that definitely made a difference for me because I was having that problem with the lens not quite being where I needed it, and that solved that problem. I also added this strap, that you folks sell because I like it to stay absolutely stationary, and between the strap and the adjustable nose piece, it stays right where I want it to, and I don't have to worry about any slipping or moving or anything else going on.
I'm smiling because yesterday I just air freighted in a whole bunch of straps for you. I go, we that one we did for that is it's not bulky, and it's small. It's non-obtrusive. You can wear it under a hat with your over your ear protection. So I have plenty of those in stock if you guys need them. So, but yeah, and I did redesign that frame, and I do have those in stock now. So I encourage people. I'm not seeing a lot of questions, so I'll just kind of blab away, answer some questions that people ask all the time. But as humans, we're creatures of habits. And I don't know about you, but if I change my holster, it drives me bonkers. So the first 1,000 rounds, the gun owns you. After that, you own the gun or the holster or whatever. So it's amazing. It is different. It is hard to explain because your eyes gradually go to heck. My bottom bifocals, my goofy sense of humor, they're called denials because I'm in denial that I need these things. That top focal kit that you were showing earlier, I'm a fan of you being able to wear these glasses all the time. So it is very, very easy to, I think I have one of these, to change these lenses out on the top bifocals. If you have it set up the way yours is with the one on the bottom, one on the top, pop the one out, put both in, use it for driving. Surprisingly, I don't get too carried away, but the most common eye injuries that I hear about, because I'm in this business, is people in car accidents. So airbags going off. And so all the time, protect your eyes. We've made it easy. I like something that you use all the time rather than just in your gun bag when you go to the range. This is designed to be used all the time, to the point where when you don't have them on, you'll be going like this trying to read because it's just nice to be able to use it. But where I was going with the holster and us being a creature of habit is you miss that holster, you miss out. It's not right where you're used to it. We're talking, you may have to tilt your head down 1/8 of an inch. It's different. I get it, but it's not the end of the world. It will get you in a better stance, weight forward, not head tilted up. So that was the biggest hurdle we have when we do events, and we do a lot of events, is individuals coming and they're used to really shooting like this just because that's the only way they can see their sights. So it's at the top. It's 1/8 of an inch down, maybe 1/4 inch, depending on your nose. It's not a big difference, but it is different. So practice it, go out and outshoot your buddies.
Well, and I'm glad you said that too about using them, for other purposes, because one of the things that I've gotten really used to doing with the clear lenses is using them down in my shop, the clear bifocal, because I've got the eye protection, obviously, and I can actually see what I'm doing when I'm working on stuff down there. So It's another one of those things back in the day I don't remember having a problem with if I was working on a firearm or whatever. But now that little bit of correction for my vision really helps out with particularly working on some of those small things.
I'll tell you what, I've got a large Dodge truck, and one of the dampeners for the hood I need to replace them. And so I'm this close looking at this thing, and I know there's numbers on there. It's all in that kit, or if you're working up underneath the dash. I mean, a lot of our customers have other hobbies, and you might get a giggle out of this. When we were making this in the LA community, the first time we brought this to SHOT Show, which is in Las Vegas now. The other thing that's very common in Las Vegas is pool playing. And the very first top bifocal sold at the Las Vegas SHOT Show was to a professional pool player. Same deal. He's looking out of the top part of his eye, and he couldn't get English on, if I'm saying that right, I'm not a pool shark, but he was not able to see what he needed to do to shoot pool. So
that's funny. Especially in Vegas of all places. So of course that's
that's why I had to bring it up. Like, okay, yeah, we're in Vegas. But he was down there, and I mean, the purse was a lot more money than I've ever made shooting. So maybe I should switch hobbies to pool.
Did you get any feedback from him then? Did he come back and say, hey, these things are working fantastic?
Yeah, he came back and said he used them. I didn't know how he did in the, oh my goodness, that's probably been 10, 12 years ago. I don't know how he did in the competition, but like I said, a lot of us reload. I'm 99% sure that when I was younger, they didn't make font that small. I'm sticking with that story, but I get a lot of feedback, painters to people up on a ladder trying to do overhead work to electricians. It has multiple uses. It's not something you need to have just in your gun case. Use them. Save your eyes.
Yeah, and I have been using the heck out of these since I've had them. I've been extremely happy, with the performance that I've gotten from both, the vision correcting lenses with the Metal kit. I'll wear those things. In fact, I was wearing those when I was mowing my lawn a couple of weeks ago, back when it was still mowable. And I actually had something kick out from under the lawnmower and bounce off the lens of the shooting glasses. So I was glad that I had them on. It was a piece of wood or something that blade hit. I don't even know how it bounced out and came up and hit me in the face, but it did.
Absolutely. I mean, it happens that fast, so that all of our frames and lenses will take 100-mile-an-hour 1/4-inch steel shot. It won't come out of the frame, and it will not shatter. So we had an old video. We should probably do a video again where we went out and actually shot them with the shotgun, 22, 44 mag. It was pretty remarkable how durable these are. But again, it's a force field for your eyes. You don't grow. I'm in Washington, and the crabbing is going on right now. So I keep referring to the crab because when I was a kid, I was like, I love crab. And for my birthday, we had crab and artichokes every year. And I thought, man, I'm going to put one in an aquarium. I'm just going to break the claw off. I'm going to eat the claw, and he's going to grow another one. Unfortunately, I like crab too much, so the whole crab got eaten.
Yeah, you'll have that.
So, yeah, actually watching them, catching them out of the mouth of the Columbia River, it's just monster crab right now. So all you guys out there, I know Washington has some problems, but we've got some it's kind of beautiful out here. So.
And I'm just looking up through here, making sure we didn't miss any questions. And I'm not seeing, I've seen a few other comments up there that I'll respond to here shortly, but not seeing anything else. And is there anything else, Mike, you want to throw out at this point? Because we're coming up, we got about 6 more minutes to go in the show. We're at 54 minutes. Hard to believe that this time has gone by fast.
It really has. So, hey, everybody that tuned in, I really, really appreciate it. It's the first time I've done this. I have an enormous respect for Mr. Funk. He does an excellent job. I don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of stuff, but I've enjoyed his videos and really, really how thorough he is. So we're always learning, and it's good to have somebody like you that actually can share that to people. We all have busy lifestyles, so very, very in depth, and I could tell because you asked great questions. So I'm blessed that you've had me on your show. Hopefully I didn't foul it up for you. So.
No, not at all. And we do have one last question here. I don't want you to go without answering this one because it's a good question. Do you make frames for kids?
It's Tony again. Yes, I do. I used to have a lot more. We don't have them. I have a beautiful one for young ladies that even has rhinestones on it in purple, pink, and candy apple red. And I do offer clear and smoked. They're under the Pro Junior, and it's just a good, inexpensive range wear specifically for children. So
outstanding. And everybody's trying to get their last minute questions in now. Scott from South Carolina. My eyes are light sensitive in the office. Any recommendations?
Yeah. Yes, there are different ones. It's probably best to call us. A lot of people use yellow. I've actually used a blue lens, which we have just on a inexpensive range where everybody's eyes are different. LEDs and fluorescence are hurting a lot of people's eyes. So and the stupid headlights that are in our new vehicles that are so bright you can't see anything. Holy smokes. I even had to outfit my old vehicles just so that I can see again. But yeah, there are, it's just everybody's eyes are different. So I don't know if it's computer glare or overhead glare, but give us a holler. We can get something coming for you.
Well, hey, thanks again, Mike. I'm going to move you out of the room, but I don't go away. I'm just going to wrap things up here and respond to a couple of these comments that I saw go up the screen. And like I said, I will get back to you here in just a moment or two.
Okay, absolutely. Let me know if I pick my nose or anything.
All right, everyone. That was Mike from SSP Eyewear. That was my guest today. And I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. I said before, I never knew how much I didn't know about safety eyewear, vision correction, decentralized lenses. Didn't know any of that stuff until I started talking to him. And it's just kind of fascinating to learn about all those different aspects of your safety eyewear. I did see a few comments that went up through here that were directed at me, and I'm going to try to find them quick. Lone Star Lawman, really enjoyed your TZOS US Army 45 ACP review. Do you know that TZOS has a USMC engraved version? I did know that, as I did. And I thought about, maybe trading the one that I have on one of those newer ones, but I like the one that I have so much, I just decided to keep it. So, but I was aware of that. Ben Crane, thanks for checking in. Ben was the guest that hung out with me, which he might not know what he got into when he came to Hot Munitions the other day, but he was good enough to hang out with me. He gave me a hand with Chewy when I needed it. Also, ERJG 1954 gave me a hand with Chewy, so I appreciated that. Sean Zimmerman, order your firearms from Turkey while you can. They're eventually going to ban imports. Yeah, hopefully not. We'll have to see what happens with all of that. And going back down through here. All right. And at this point, I'm going to start to wrap things up, folks. We are right at 58 and a half minutes. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thanks for the questions. I appreciate it. As always, thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching the videos. All of the interaction, all of the feedback that I get from all of you is tremendous. If you have anyone who might be interested in some of the eye safety products, vision correcting lenses, anything like that we talked about, again, direct them to www.SSP Eyewear, or as Mike said, they can call directly to SSP and have their questions answered that way. So all of you, again, thank you very much. I could not do the things I do without all of you. And in fact, I wouldn't want to. So that's going to do it for now, folks. Thanks again for tuning in to HR's Firing Line. If I don't talk to you before, have a great, great Thanksgiving. Again, there are going to be videos coming up. Some of them might be coming at odd times, so keep an eye out for them. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye for now and good shooting. Bye-bye.